What is going on? It's Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we're going to be doing a Pittsburgh Steelers 7-round 2025 NFL mock draft. If you are new, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You guys know how to use YouTube below my face and my board. It is not predictive. These are the players that I love. I back it up with all 22 clips over on my X page, so feel free to follow me over there. Let's get into this. Let's have a great time. You guys know, if you guys are, not new to this series, I am a big Steelers fan. Been growing up that way, and really proud to be it. So, we're going to be continually looking over through our lads at the depth chart. And so we're going to be rolling through this no trades. That's just kind of the way it rolls. But we're going to be doing one of these after free agency as well. So let's start off and let's see how the board falls and the players who fall to us. Very interesting. We will have some good discussions here, but we did get some good players for us to be able to do that. Before we get into this, let's talk about this roster. Shout out to our lads. Of course, there's going to be a whole bunch of uncookied ads in here, so beware. We might get some very annoying and horrific advertisements, but I'm giving them some free advertising themselves. Looking at our offense, it's not pretty, right? It's not pretty. We're looking at the quarterback position. All of them are gone. I'm praying to God, and for this, I'm going to assume Justin Fields returns. I think at least he deserves a shot. I don't think Russell Wilson should return. I pray that he does not. Honestly, I pray that Rodgers doesn't return either. I don't want us to continuously put ourselves in purgatory with players that used to be better than they are now. It does bother me quite a bit. Just like consistent mediocrity is not fun. If you give Justin a chance, at least Justin could be fun, right? We all know Danger Russ is not fun at all. But you look at the running back position, Jaylen Warren's on an RFA. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to match it, but really good player nonetheless. Najee Harris up for a contract. We'll see if he ends up staying. Cordell Patterson, the veteran, the special teamer himself. And we got Connor Hayward there. Tight end group, studded. We got Darnell Washington, Pat Freiermuth, and of course, Connor Hayward is amidst that group. Shout out to them. Offensive line-wise, Fontenot's coming back from his season-ending injury. You got Mason McCormick, you got Zach Frazier, a full rookie trio, you could say. And Suamalu's there, Broderick Jones. We need to go offensive line. Maybe not starter, but we at least need to get some competition in here. And I know one player who I definitely want to be bringing in, and so I'm happy to do that. But regardless, our offensive line is still coming together. It's definitely not where it needs to be. It's very annoying at the fact that I grew up and we had the best offensive line damn near every single year. But regardless, what's a bigger headache is looking at our receiving core. George Pickens, we're talking about trading his ass because, he has a personality, a little bit of a tweaked personality, but you know what? I don't blame him. The dude is really, really talented. Yeah, there's some a little bit up in the head, but they play a contact sport. Everybody got a couple screws loose if they want to sign up for assault on a regular basis. Rowan Wilson coming back from an injury. He's a slot. I don't know why we're listing him as a boundary receiver. Brother's a slot. I'd prefer to have Calvin Austin with that deep speed on the boundary. But regardless, those being our three receivers, and we had Van Jefferson and Ben Skoranek and Mike Williams taking legit reps last year. It's not pretty. It's really not pretty. You look at the defensive side, and Cam Hayward, we need to get something going for a longer term option. I like Larry Ogunjobi. I know that, certain people are talking about desperation mode for the defensive interior. I don't think so. Keanu Benton, love him to death. I could totally see him growing even more into a superstar. I really do like actually where we're at, minus one little defensive tackle spot. Looking at the linebacker spot, both the edge rushers and the inside linebackers, we got an amazing group of pass rusher here. Look at this. Herbig. Moon is an ERFA, but even Moon had some really solid moments for us, in my opinion. You got TJ Watt there, Alex Highsmith, Marvin Leal. I love these guys. Really, really good edge rushers all around. We've done a great job with that. Linebacker-wise, you got Cole Holcomb, Peyton Wilson, and Patrick Queen. Obviously, Matakevich is pretty much a Walmart clearance version of Robert Spillane. Landon Roberts, he's a good guy to have. I hope we do bring him back. But what we really need to talk about is this secondary, because we got Beanie Bishop, Cam Sutton. Hopefully, we can see if we want to retain him, but Beanie Bishop ended up having some moments. Don't really think it's a necessary thing to spend our capital on a nickel back, because he's not a Mike Hilton. I miss Mike Hilton, man. I really do. Cam Sutton had some really good moments there, but man, Mike Hilton, It is what it is. Joey Porter had a down year, but to be honest, the entire team did. Joey Porter Jr. I still see as our future corner one for the next decade. Looking at that second cornerback spot, I hope that we end up retaining one of the corners, whether you talk about DJ Reed, whether you want to go even just retain Dante Jackson on a short-term contract. It was good to have a true corner two. Corey Trice is not a true corner two. He is a really, really good corner three. James Pierre has just been floating around. CJ Henderson worth the shot, but it is what it is. Deshaun Elliott's a fucking monster. I love this guy. And Devontae Casey, extremely underrated as well. Minka, I can see him bouncing back. It's just, our DC, in my opinion, doesn't put these guys in the right spots, which unfortunately we're going to have to deal with again. But it is what it is. Let's get into the video. You guys know I'm very passionate about talking about our roster, but looking at pick number 21, a lot of very good choices, right? For wide receiver, you're looking at pick number 53 potentially. Who's going to get there? Are we going to get lucky with Jaden Higgins or are we going to get fucked? Bottom line, that's what we got to ask ourselves. But you got guys like Kyle Williams down the line, Dante Thornton, that is that's a Steelers pick down the line. Dante Thornton's one of those. Caden Prather, Chim DK. I don't think we need to invest multiple picks on wide receiver early for that reason. Safety, I think we're chilling. Unless you want to put Malachi in the slot, which his worst game this year, in my opinion, was pretty much allowing 1 billion yards to Matt Golden in the slot. So we're going to be dismissing that. Edge rusher, not really a thing. Luther Burden, I don't trust him to be a boundary receiver. He is under 5'11". He ran 4.42, which is great. I love seeing that. But I still have my doubts. Emeka Ibuka, also a slot. Look at the slot reps, guys. You can't deny this. The majority of his reps are in the slot. And we have 2 of them already. But, of course, that doesn't stop you from improving. I get that. I get it. But I do think that we at least can explore other options, right? Amarian Hampton's a guy who I want to bring into the equation. You guys see what I think of him. I think he's ridiculously talented. And I mean ridiculously talented. And we have an Arthur Smith run system. Now, could we play we could get cute with it, right? You can end up waiting and, pick number 163 going and sniping Ollie Gordon, basically getting you could talk about Derrick Henry. You could try to get cute with it. Kyle Monungai, love him to death. But Amarian Hampton is just such a stud. And I really, really like him. But I do think that calmer heads will prevail here. And I think the best option for us is to go after a player who is used to playing the cold, who also does have experience on the boundary, just not a ton of it. And we're going to pray, we're going to hope that Emeka Ibuka is the right guy. I'm pro Amarian Hampton, but I just don't think we're going to take a running back in the first. Here in the second, Savone Revel is here. He slips. I did not expect that. Oh, we got lucky taking wide receiver in the first. Holy Toledo. You got Darian Porter, Ben Morrison, and Savone Revel. Ben Morrison, the only issue with him falling is because, you see where he's at pre-injury on my board. The dude already had his hip surgery in high school, so it's the second hip issue that he's had. The question is, do we go after Ben Morrison? Do we go after Savone Revel? Do we go after Darian Porter, who I love to death, but I just took Darian Porter. I'm going to try my best to keep, because I know a lot of people watch every one of these, I'm going to try to keep it fresh for everyone. I'm going to go Ben Morrison. We're willing to take guys with some injury red flags. You talk about Darnell Washington, Peyton Wilson. We're willing to go best player available. And so I'm going to go after one of my favorite players in the entire draft and praying to God that he ends up being healthy in Ben Morrison. At number 85, we're back. Kevin Winston would be super fun for us. Jalen Royals would be interesting, but again, you're talking about another player who could even be in the slot. Anthony Belton would be a fun one for sure. You talk about Jared Wilson potentially moving to guard, but Isaiah Bond could be someone who could stretch the field for us. I'm looking right now actually at CJ West as a potential option here. Again, we're talking about quarterback absolutely needs to be on the mind. Let's not fuck around, right? Ooh, interesting. So we did see where did Trev move quarterback? Why am I tripping up on his name? What the hell? Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart. Where did he move him up to? Where did he go? Did he go before that? Hey, no way. He did. Oh, shit. Is this starting to become a predictive board? Because he had Jackson Dart at 122. That's crazy. But, hell, at 122, what's going to be there? Kyle McCord might be our best bet. So at this pick, we could end up going after the QB route. And I think we should. Like, third round's fine where you take a shot on a QB. And to be fair, Jalen Milroe uses a runner, which you're going to be testing out how that offense is going to be right now with Malik, not with Malik Willis, funnily enough. Malik Willis is low-key a combination of Milroe and Justin Fields. But regardless, take the quarterback that you want. I do think that we might actually lean towards Milroe because I think it's gotten to the point where Milroe is being undervalued. I wouldn't take him with a second-round pick at all. Like, the dude's ceiling is sky high, but I mean, in the third round, you can also use him as a running back. Like, don't put that out of your mind. It is legit. But I really like Will Howard. You can't go wrong. So I'm going to let you guys choose this one in your own mind. I'm going to select Milroe because I haven't selected Milroe for pretty much any team at this point. And I think it's fair. Of course, we could have waited and somehow got Will Howard here at 122, but I was not going to run the risk of that. So sitting here at pick number 122, reviewing what we have done so far, we got Abuka, Morrison, and Milroe. Solving some pretty big issues. I do kind of wish that we ended up seeing a defensive interior fall. I really love CJ West. That's kind of the guy who I was hoping for him to fall to us here in the fourth round. And I'm very glad he didn't because I don't think he should. Femi Oladejo still is ranked so low. I think it's kind of ridiculous. But again, there's guys who are being consistently moved up. I respect it. It's Trev's board, and I haven't been moving up every single guy either. It happens to the best of us, right? So we've gone after corner. We've gone after wide receiver. We've gone after quarterback / running back. Running back wise, though, I'm looking right now at Kyle Monangai, and Kyle Monangai tested at like 4.6, but this dude is a top 5, top 10 running back in the class. I mean, this is Ashton Genty from not from Wish. I mean, I feel like that's actually like a big hit to him. Like, this is Ashton Genty probably on like maybe a Black Friday sale. Like, you're getting like 75%, like 25% off Ashton Genty for a 100th of the value. I love Kyle Monangai. And please, before you try to criticize it, go and watch him. And if you still don't like him after that, by all means, I respect you for actually going and watching him. But I don't want to run the risk because I can get Bishal too, and I just ended up doing that, though. We might still be able to get Trevor Etienne at 163. There's a good chance. Like, honestly, there's a lot of running backs. But I don't want to run the risk. I really don't. And I think running back is a huge issue for us right now. So we're going to go after Kyle Monangai. I really love him to be in that Najee Harris replacement role. And yeah, Etienne ended up slipping here. Kyle McCord ended up slipping here. But honestly, that makes me feel very comfortable potentially going after best player available here in Upton Stout. Upton Stout's great value right now. He's a player who showed out at the Senior Bowl, even played some boundary corner reps as well, even though he's like 5'8". Like, let's not do that. But if you want someone behind Beanie Bishop who can end up competing, has physicality, and has pressing ability, and is also really good, even potentially filling in case of injury on the boundary, I call that a win-win. We're going to be going Upton Stout there at 163 and going best player available. At number 225, RJ Mickens, such a stud. Love him to death. This is where I might start deploying some of the guys who I think are critically underrated. One of which, son of a bitch, my big plan was to get Holland Pierce. Okay, I mean, to be fair, it's unrealistic as hell. Holland Pierce is a freak athlete at 360 pounds. Like, that's karma. That's karma for me getting cocky. All right. I was hoping to pair up Holland Pierce back with his running back. And he's just like, sometimes you don't win it, man. Sometimes you don't. But regardless, you got LeJounte Wester here. You guys know how much I love LeJounte. But I think Ty Robinson works really well as a depth defensive interior to grow for a year. You look at Thor Griffith, big fan of what he brings to the table. Jared Harrison Hunt. You got to shout out my ponies here, man. Really, really good player. At this point, though, Ty Robinson is an excellent value for us. And if we did not end up losing the player I was going to go after, which is LeJounte Wester, I feel like this is a good spot for him. Like, the Steelers have that energy. We like those smaller receivers that have explosiveness. Again, you're going to be buried amidst some other players here, but I still think it's worth it. You look at the wide receivers that are available. Zachary Franklin actually deserves some love. Bo Collins, Ja'Cory Brooks actually could be a fun one. I mean, Ja'Cory Brooks is built quite well. I think he's actually only 6'1", though, but he's a really good deep threat. Bo Collins is a very underrated player. I could totally see us bringing him in as a UDFA. LeJohntay Wester, I just don't want to overuse him, and we have so many guys who are semi-slot versatile that I just don't want to put like my name on it. Kyron Lacy would be kind of funny as hell though, but we can end up waiting to that final pick to decide that wide receiver spot. We've already gone after multiple quarterbacks, of course, or sorry, I guess not really, but we ended up saying that Justin Fields would be on the team. But I could just go Max Brosmer right now and just say, oh, well, the value's there. But Khalil Diggs, really good value at this point. Like excuse me, I say Khalil every time. Fadil Diggs, very good athlete. I like the value here at 231. We always end up taking like a swing on a random edge rusher. Fadil Diggs fits my mentality for this team. I fuck with that. And then at number 247, we can talk about the receivers. Dante Trader would be a really fun one. Again, reviewing what we have already done. We got Fadil Diggs, Ty Robinson, and Upton Stout with Ben Morrison on the defensive side. Very defensive heavy, but we got weapons around the block here with Monungai, Milroe, Abuka. Let's get some offensive line depth. Like, let's get something here. And there's some good ones on the board. That's why I kind of also waited. Carson Vincent would be someone who'd be great to grow and develop as like an understudy. He has really solid arm length, I believe 35 inches. Xavier Truss would be someone who's a little bit more flexible on the inside. Clay Webb has some issues in his past, so I guess that's kind of a stealer there. But I'm going to go after Carson Vincent right here, man. He has some really, really high level potential. And I really like to see him there at the Senior Bowl. I'd hope to see him on the Steelers develop and grow into someone awesome. But bottom line, we ended up retooling our offense. I know you can end up going after Will Howard here if you do, please. But we got our Najee replacement in Monungai. We got our star receiver here in Emeka Abuka. I didn't really feel the need to go too hardcore on it because the receivers that are left, UDFAs. Ben Morrison, going to be our star corner too. Hopefully he stays healthy. Upton Stout could end up starting over Beanie Bishop, if I'm going to be honest. But you got some good depth here in Ty Robinson and Fadil Diggs as well. I feel actually pretty comfortable with this. I do think we got good value across the board. Is this going to be an absolute banger of a draft if we do end up with this? I mean, I would really need to see how Jalen Milroe would be used, but I honestly think that Jalen Milroe or Will Howard would end up being very good value there at 85. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Again, I know my Steelers fans are some of the harshest on me, but I love you guys nonetheless. Thank you again for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.